it's already done in our head and take action to do so. So once again, folks, welcome to our morning mentorship call. We're going to be doing this call every single day, Monday through Friday. And I want to tell you why we started this call, because I believe that we need some development with each other, right? So this was something to keep me accountable as well. So let me go ahead and pin my video here. But what's going on, everybody? Who do we have here? So I believe that as you know, creating routines, creating habits, creating positive vibes every single morning starts your day off just right. So who do we have up early in the morning? Maybe you're in traffic, maybe you're heading to work, maybe you're sitting at home drinking your coffee, maybe you're at the gym right now listening to us. What I want this call to be about is a way to pour energy into your day every single day and give you some tools. Yep. What's up, Jazz Williams in the building? We got chairman on this call, folks, and let me tell you, between me, Jazz Williams, Dwayne Lodge, we have decided to really start a plan to really pour into our organizations and teams. So not only will you have myself on these calls in the morning, you're going to get other leaders like Chairman Jazz Williams, Chairman Dwayne Lodge. You know, I'm sure we're going to have top platinum leaders, market leaders like Zakina Abdul-Jalil, Audra. So my plan is to get everybody involved as a community, Legacy Worldwide, CEO movement, all of us combined, and really elevate to the next level and show how to get there. So good morning, everybody. What's going on, Miguel? What's going on? The fourth guy. Good morning. Good morning, Miss Nancy and Jiro. Good morning. Who else we have out there? What's up, Mr. KB? Kevin out of Frisco, Texas, right in my backyard here. 242 in the building. Of course, Mr. Edwin Pender is here. So welcome, everybody. Happy that each and every one of you are on this call. So just getting some things out the way. Man, I'm excited about 2020. Here we are coming to the end of February, okay? And I want you guys to do a self-evaluation today. Where are you at in your walk, in your success walk, in your entrepreneurial journey? So this call is meant for those who want to grow their business, those who want to become chairman and above. If that's not you, you don't want to become chairman above, this still works, because we're going to pour some motivation to you. We're going to give you some tools to really be successful in business and outside of business, right? Maybe you want to be an entrepreneur and elevate inside your job, and maybe you want to become a CEO or something. I think that this is also going to elevate you to that point, and some tools that we're going to talk about. But we're going to focus today on an entrepreneur mindset, okay? Now, entrepreneur mindset is very special, and I want you to know that it can be learned, okay? Me and my wife, we weren't always entrepreneurs. I know people look at us today and we were top earners in a previous network marketing company. And then we come to this company and we do the same thing. I was a pilot. My wife is a nurse. But there were some things that we had to learn along the way. And I came across an article that was absolutely powerful, where it really talks about the 5 major characteristics of entrepreneurship and really having that mindset. So you guys know the last kind of mentorship call we had, I talked about growing as a leader, that acronym. One of those things was to gain knowledge. So I hope over the past 45, almost 60 days now, that you've been pouring into yourself, self-developing. I've been watching, you know, one of our top platinum leaders, Zakina Abdul-Jalil, constantly every single morning. Her routines are on point. She's reading her books. She's getting her team involved. She's constantly moving, right? Leaders are always moving, and they're always inspiring others to move with them. Okay, and that's called culture. So today we're going to talk about those things to make you a leader. I believe that I was taught by one of the greatest leadership factories in the world, and Jazz Williams probably can attest to that, because he was in the United States Air Force as well too. And I was just so fortunate as a young kid, born and raised in Compton, California. Had my first child at the age of 19 years old. And there were just some decisions I'm so grateful for that forced me into that direction. So I joined the military in 1999, and I will say that changed my life in a major way. It put me around things that I did not think was possible. It gave me responsibility, okay, that I didn't know I could be responsible for. You know, one thing that I commend the Air Force and the military for is when you go in and you're young, right, they give you responsibility. They give you more responsibility than what the world typically gives you. You gotta understand that you are in charge of so much and some very serious things. And some of that pertains to going to war. Some of that attains to managing equipment that will do certain things around the world. And so I believe that I was, you know, grown up in one of the greatest leadership factories, and I had the fortune to become a pilot. You know, I was enlisted, later on became a pilot in the United States Air Force. And some of the characteristics that I'm going to go over, I learned a lot of that from the Air Force, you know, because they demanded that you be decisive, right? I'm gonna talk about 5 major characteristics. You can write these down right now. For those who are analytical, you might want to put some space in between this because I'm gonna give some value and some definitions on what I'm gonna talk about. But I'm gonna talk about 5 major characteristics and how you can learn how to get those characteristics. You see, if you learn these characteristics, not only will you be successful at just about any business that you touch, if you're working right now, most of the time you will elevate to the top of your job. You know, I know that people who were served in network marketing, maybe they weren't top earners, but they did a very good job in network marketing, and then they go to their jobs and they crush it because they apply the same skills, right? The same vibes, the happiness, the positivity, and they bring that into the workplace, and they naturally become leaders. They naturally become drawn to. People are drawn to leaders. So write down these 5 major characteristics of being an entrepreneur. 1, you have to have decisiveness, okay? We're gonna go over what that means, decisiveness. There's a lot of people in this world that are not decisive, right? We're gonna talk about the opposite. The opponent of that is being indecisive, right? Which is a killer of businesses, okay? It's a killer of most things if you're indecisive, okay? Number 2, confidence. Confidence is huge. We're gonna go over that one and how to gain confidence because I hear it all the time. People are trying to train themselves and say, I need to learn this, I need to learn that. But I'm gonna teach you how to become confident and what it feels like. Sometimes we can look at someone presenting or speaking from a large stage in front of thousands of people. You know, I watch my wife deliver some absolute powerful messages. And best believe there is a lot of stuff going through her head and her heart. And nervousness kicks in for all of us. But there is a way that you continually build up this confidence until you become confident. And it's like you're just doing it with your eyes closed. Number 3, this is huge. Accountability. Now we say this all the time, but today, you know, for those, this conversation will not be for the meek. Okay, I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to be your mentor. Do you understand what a mentor is? A mentor is not going to tell you what you want to hear. They're going to tell you what you need to hear. What is going to make you successful? Not anything that is going to collar you. You know, just talking about something in our household here. You know, over this past several years, really. My kids now have grown. My youngest kids are now grown 11, 7, and 5. And one of the things I've realized my wife does every single morning is she wakes up with them. She wakes them up. She makes them breakfast. She gets them dressed. She tells them to brush. She gives them everything. And, you know, we decided to really change that because we realized we were feeding them everything and not allowing them to fail or grow, right? Not allowing them, if they wake up late, they got to experience what that feels like. There's not going to be someone to help you bounce back. So today, you know, I challenge them, say, hey, we're no longer waking you up. We're no longer doing this. We're no longer doing that. You guys need to get up on your own. When your alarm clock goes off, you need to go get your clothes, get them on, have your teeth brushed. So when we get up, it's already prepared. The only thing you're getting is breakfast, and we're heading out the door. Well, guess what today? Today, it went smoothly. They got up, they got their clothes on, they did everything they needed to do, okay? And they got out the door in time. And the reason I say that, because in network marketing, what we're going to talk about today, as an upline or as a top leader, most of the time we don't realize that we are kind of coddling, you know, those that are below us or those that are coming up. And so we're not giving them the growth that we receive. We're not giving them the accountability. And so today, I'm going to give you the accountability. Some of you that in Legacy Worldwide, you know, I've stepped back a little bit to give more accountability to the leaders and to see who is going to grow or who is going to say, man, no presentation day, well, I'm going to do something. No, this today, well, I'm going to do this. And I watch who's doing it, and I watch who's just said, I'm just waiting to see who else is going to do it. That's a lack of accountability. That's a lack of ownership, okay? So I'm just gonna be real when we talk about each one of these points here, okay? Number 4, resilience, absolutely powerful. You have to have resilience. If you don't have resilience, folks, trust me, this is gonna be a hard road for you. And as a matter of fact, you will not be able to be an entrepreneur if you don't have resilience. You are going to fail. Entrepreneurs fail, but the difference between successful entrepreneurs that fail and unsuccessful is the ones who fail and have resilience, they bounce back and they elevate to the top. That's the only difference. And the unsuccessful ones, they stay down, okay? So you have to have resilience when it comes to having a powerful entrepreneur mindset. And then lastly, this one's huge. 5, it's what ties all of everything I just talked about, it ties together. Humility. Folks, I will tell you, I've watched people elevate but then they lack the last one, the humility. And so because humility ties everything together, they go right back to where they started. And I'm going to hit this one hard as we close out our session, get to the end. So I'm excited about to go over each one of these folks. So you have them written down in your paper. So let's talk about being decisive and how to practice making a decision, okay? And you know, you guys heard this over and over again. For those who have been in the industry for a minute, you've heard, you know, decision makers. What does decision mean? Decision means to cut off all other things, right? And then make that decision of the thing that you're doing, right? If you're at Subway and you want to order a certain sandwich, I've watched you lines take forever because people are indecisive about what they want, right? They have to look at the menu 10, 20 times, okay, before they order something. Why? Because they have the indecisive and they're waiting for some type of feeling to pop in their head to make a decision. What do I feel like eating today? What is it? What is your decision? Okay, in business, you know what the greatest cause of failure in business is? The opponent of decisiveness. Indecision kills businesses on a daily. And indecision stops you from starting. Listen, folks, indecision stops you from starting. Okay? Some people are so scared to make a decision because you know why? Because they feel it may be wrong. They feel that they may fail. They want to get a consensus from everybody else. And one thing that I learned in the Air Force, regardless, as a leader, you got to take, when you realize that you have to take accountability and responsibility no matter what, whether good or bad, you will make a decision. But the problem is we don't want to take responsibility for our decisions. So if you're not decisive, then you're indecisive. There is no gray area. There is no in between. Okay. So to be decisive, that means to make a decision, to just do it. I want you to get out of your head. But to be decisive, you have to start practicing how to make a decision. And this can be small things. I believe that the small things, small wins lead to great victories. Okay. So when I say be decisive, I was reading this article and it says, here's how you practice. Each one of you can do this today if you want. Okay. I want you to go to whatever restaurant you're going to for lunch or dinner. Okay. And you look at the menu. They say, look at the menu one time. That's it. One time, look at the menu. Okay. And then you order and make a decision. Leave it at that. Done. That's decisiveness. You know, in the military, being decisive, you know, also equates to confidence too. I want you to understand that. But when you make a decision, I was a lieutenant first, where I got to see aircraft commanders operate. One of the things I feared the most, you know, but I admired, okay, when I was a student of an aircraft commander, right? I was a lieutenant, you know, co-pilot, and I would watch the aircraft commander operate. And there's one there, most of them were my age, right? We're officers, we're colleagues, but I'm still elevating in my ranks. They're already a captain. And I admired young captains, you know, 25, 26, 27, 30, that we were out in Iraq, we were out in Kuwait, and to watch these young men, these young women make a decision under pressure was powerful. And I remember saying, like, I was scared, first of all, right? Why was I scared? Because I was like, wow, is that going to be me one day? Am I going to have enough confidence to know exactly what I'm doing and to say, we're doing here. Here's what the mission is. This is where we're going. This is how much we're loading, dropping off. No, we can't load this crew on. We got to load this on. Will I have that much confidence? But I admired it and I wanted it so bad. So I was a student, you know, as a co-pilot. When I say the greatest leadership factory, folks, you know, greatest leadership factory ever, because you really got to watch it happen in real time. I got to watch what confidence looked like. I got to watch what decision-making looked like under pressure. Okay. And so under two deployments as a co-pilot, the next one I was an aircraft commander, and now it was up for me. It was my turn to be confident. It was my turn to be decisive. And I'll tell you, as I walk through these characteristics, folks, we're going to talk about the second one, confidence. There were times that I was nervous as all ever, right? I was briefing my crew. Here I am, young captain, okay? And I got Chief Master Sergeant. What a Chief Master Sergeant in the Air Force is, they're E9. They're the top enlisted rank in the Air Force. And most of the time, Chief Master Sergeants have been in well over 20-something years. You know, young captains, you can be a captain and be in 4 years. Me, at that time, I was a young captain. I was probably in 6 years as a young captain or 7 years as a young captain. So here I'm 7 years in. Here you got a Chief Master Sergeant who's went through multiple aircraft commanders. And so, of course, a lot of these things are going through my head. You know, am I making the right decision? Will they accept this? And here's what I learned. I was in control. And I had to act as such. And whatever decision I made, I had to make that decision with decisiveness and confidence, meaning I didn't stutter. I didn't say, maybe. No, this is what we're doing. Here's what the mission is. Here's the load we're putting on. We're going to be heading to point A, point B, point C. And then from this point, we'll take a break here and then blah, 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 right? Push it out, confidence. Nope, that's it. So what I want you guys to do, it's a powerful skill, and that's why it's number one. I want you to practice making a decision, okay? Don't call your upline, don't call your sideline, don't call your downline. Make a decision. Today, this call is about stepping to the front of the line because you're already qualified, or get out of the line. Okay, if you feel that you don't have any of these qualities and you don't want to learn them, then this is not going to be the road for you as far as entrepreneurship. So you have to have decisiveness. Number two, confidence. Okay, confidence is very hard and it can be difficult, right? Confidence, about 85% of people have little to no confidence. Listen, 85% of people, meaning when you come in contact with at least 10 people, about 9 of them have no confidence whatsoever. How does because our confidence gets shot from all different ways. Maybe you got talked about in high school. Maybe you were subconscious about the way that you look. Maybe you're subconscious about your weight. Maybe you're subconscious about the knowledge that you know. It's a lot of things that mentally affect us from moving forward, especially with an entrepreneur mindset. So you absolutely have to have confidence to be an entrepreneur, have confidence to be a leader. And I believe that being an entrepreneur and leader, those things go hand in hand, because as an entrepreneur, you have to figure things out, right? The entrepreneur mindset requires that you basically collect data, whatever data is available to you, right? Okay. There is no one to really help you with that. And then you make a confident decision. Okay. So confidence, how do you get it? First of all, let me tell you about when you see people on stage. I know sometimes it may appear like, man, they're killing that thing. They're so good. They're this, that. There's been plenty of time, folks, that I've gotten on stage. And yes, I sound confident. And yes, I am saying the things that I want to say, but I'm probably super nervous while I'm on stage. And it's not that I'm nervous. You're going to always be nervous in some shape or form. You're going to always forget things when you get on stage. There's times, I'll tell you every single time, I will give a speech. Okay, I have this whole thing I want to say, and I forget half of it. And then I feel horrible coming off stage. I'm just telling you my real story about what I want to say, what the message I want to deliver, and how I felt. And when I get off, I feel like, because we are our worst critic. But it's crazy. Every time I feel that way, every time I hop off that stage, I got someone that runs up, most people that run up and say, "Oh my God, Randy, that," and I'm thinking like, you playing with me right now? That was good. You know why? We're our own worst critic. And so what I have to realize, and this is leaders, hear me closely, because this can affect your journey. This will affect you getting in front of the room if you're so hard on yourself. I stopped being hard on myself, and I said, you know what? I'm going to give my best every single time, and I'm going to do it with confidence no matter what. Even if I have to act confident. I want you to understand that every speaker that hops on stage, they are somewhat nervous. It will go away at some point where you just get good, okay? You get really good, but it's gonna take about 10,000 hours of you doing that, okay? So in between the 2,000 hours, you're gaining the experience. So how do you do that? Trust me, folks, speakers just weren't perfect and they got on stage. Someone who built a business, like when I started in network marketing, I just wasn't perfect, folks. I had to stumble and fail along the way until we got good at what it was. I was never comfortable in front of the room. I remember my first millionaire mentor just throwing me up there, and oh my God, I felt so horrible, okay? But you know what? I wanted what he had. He was making $1 million a year, and I said, if this is what it takes, I will do it. And so I got in front of that room every single time, and I learned how to act confident. Hear me again, because I want you to write that down. You have to learn how to act confident. Folks, there should never be a point that you're talking to a prospect or you're building your business that you're not confident in front of your folks. I don't care if you don't know the information. They don't know the information either. You must at all times act confident. So you asking someone questions in front of someone is not necessarily acting confident. Are you hearing me? So you must always act confident until you start feeling confident. And if that's along the way you're gaining some knowledge to feel a little bit more confident and reading more books to self-develop yourself, then keep doing those things too. But until that point, you must act confident. I love that. Confidence is armor. Absolutely. So you're going to have to pretend to have that armor on every single time until it just comes, folks. That's the requirement. That's number 2. It is the most important characteristics of entrepreneurship. The next one, accountability. Okay. Hear this closely, folks. Accountability. I want to make sure that I get this right. I don't want to mess this one up right here, because this one, I believe, is also, this one is what stagnates businesses, okay? There is no one responsible for your business. There is no one responsible for your job. See, if you can learn to be accountable, responsible for everything that happens in your life, regardless of what's happening, you will win. Okay, so here, let me read this one off. They say, as an entrepreneur, you need to internalize and accept these 3 things. Everything that happens at work, you're responsible for. Everything that happens to your business, whether it's your fault or not, you're responsible for it. Whether you succeed or fail, you are responsible. Why do I go hard with those phrases right there? Because I have so many people that I talk to on a daily, and I don't want to hurt feelings most of the time, but I want to say, okay, yeah, now what? Okay, those things happen. Okay, you don't have the support at home. Okay, now what? Okay, they don't support you at your job. Now what? Okay, you don't have the proper tools. Now what? You got to be at work. Now what? All those things, yes, they may not be your fault, right? They're external circumstances. But what successful entrepreneurs understand is, regardless if they're internal or external circumstances that are out of your control, they know they must do something regardless of the situation. Because if you don't recognize that, you'll never be a successful entrepreneur. You'll never start a business. You'll never be successful in network marketing. You'll stay right at that job. You'll stay right at whatever the situation is. Why? Because every time you go to voice what it is you want, you back it up with a valid excuse, right? Because I'm not saying they're not valid. You back it up with a valid excuse. What you have to do is accept responsibility. Okay, that's my situation. So what? What's next? Here's what he said. All that matters is what you're going to do right now to find the success. That's the only thing that matters. No one cares. Listen, no one cares how much limited time you have. No one cares about your money situation. No one cares about your external support. The only thing they care about is when they see your goals accomplished. That's the only way that you can touch someone. No one cares about anything else. So when you accept that you have to own everything that is happening to you, understand it's to promote you. My wife says it very clearly. Everything that happens to us is to promote us. If you're having troubles at work, it's going to promote you, but you got to accept the responsibility for it, period. Okay? Accountability is major in business. We used to say that in leadership wise, right? As far as we praise our support, we praise our subordinates in public, reprimand in private. We praise our success, their success is their success. Their failures, our failures is our failures, not their failures. Okay, you understand? So as a leader, you take all responsibilities regardless. Maybe it's someone who messed up something in your organization. It's still your responsibility. Something happens within Legacy Worldwide as a whole. It's my responsibility. It's my wife's responsibility. It's our responsibility, right? It's not someone in my organization, because then I wouldn't be a leader. Okay? No, I take responsibility for everything that happens in my organization. And when those things happen, it's an opportunity for me to grow. Okay, so I hope that I hit accountability on point. Just be accountable for everything. Basically what I'm telling you, whether your excuse is valid or not, I'm sorry. If I'm taking shots, I'm sorry. But it's required. There are no excuses. Okay? I want you to understand this. Here's the standpoint that I have. The minute that you feel yourself, you say, I want this. But is going to negate everything you just say that you want. Anytime that you feel yourself about to say an excuse, all excuses are valid. Listen, They are all valid. Okay, let's just get that out. They're valid. I don't have the support. I don't have that. Be at work. Blah, blah, blah. That, don't have time. All of it, valid. Now what? Okay? Let's make this a no excuse zone. In Legacy Worldwide, if you're going to be a part of this culture, Legacy Worldwide, we don't make excuses. Legacy Worldwide, we are creating the next huge wave of leaders inside of I Am Master Academy. And to do that, we cannot have excuses. None of it. Okay? Valid, invalid, doesn't matter. And if you're with me on that, let's go chairman, folks. That's what I'm looking for, okay? No excuses. I don't care about the time. It's now, what are we going to do about the situation so we can elevate to the next level? That's it. See, the great thing is just self-evaluation and knowing where we're at. Number 4, resilience, okay? As an entrepreneur, you need to learn how to deal with failure, okay? And so here's the biggest part about resilience. This is the hardest part of network marketing because network marketing has a low barrier of entry, okay? And so when I'm talking about low barrier entry, sometimes you don't put a lot of skin in the game. It didn't cost you that much, so it's easy to say, it didn't work this time, so that's it, okay? So in entrepreneurship, network marketing, you're gonna need to learn to deal with making mistakes. You're gonna need to learn how to deal with failure. You have to learn what people telling you no. It's inevitable. It's a part of your growth. Every time someone tells you no, it's an opportunity to grow. Every time that you fail, it's an opportunity to grow. Every time that you have a setback, it's an opportunity to grow for the comeback. But if every time that you misstep and every time that you fail, it puts you in question of whether you're doing the right thing or gives you self-doubt, I need you to reevaluate if you want to be an entrepreneur or not. Listen, I'm gonna say that again. If every time that something happens to you, a failure happens, someone tells you no, it doesn't go in your way, it causes you to evaluate and say, or plummet back into a self-doubt stage, I need you to reevaluate whether you want to be an entrepreneur or not, or whether you're going to build that up, your resilience up. You have to have the resilience to do this thing, folks. There's no entrepreneur in the world, none, that have just succeeded in a straight line. Do you realize entrepreneurship don't go in straight lines? Businesses don't go in straight lines. They go in zigzags. They go in ups and downs. They go in plateaus and peaks and valleys. That's the only way. And if you're not willing to go through the valley, then you're not willing to stand at the peak, period. The only way to get to the peak is to go through the valley, folks. And the valley is rough. The valley is where most get taken out. The valley is where the weak stay. But the strong rise to the top. Legacy Worldwide is rising to the top. CEO Movement's rising to the top. Everybody on this call rising to the top. Why? Because you're willing to do what it takes and you're willing to bounce back. I can't tell you, folks, we walk you through our story of how many times we had to bounce back. You know, me and my wife, the things that we've been through, right? As entrepreneurs, not only do we do network marketing, but real estate, you know, there's setbacks in all of these type of things. In network marketing, you know, imagine building to the top of a company, putting 35,000 customers in. You have a great culture, you love the people, everything's great. And you have to shift and leave it all behind because you have to make a decisive decision that makes sense for everybody else and start all over again. And imagine when you start all over again, you realize as you go forward, you say, man, I could have did this different, this different, this different. We could have moped on the way that we started and the way that we began. No, now what? We're resilient. And we're going to always be resilient because if you're not resilient, you'll break. And we don't need people breaking. It's time to go to the top, folks. So resilience is very important. And we already talked about, success doesn't happen in a straight line. Then lastly, here's what brings it all together. Humility. Humility is huge because they say it ties everything together. Here's what it is, how they define it. It's the freedom from pride or arrogance, and it ties all the characteristics of entrepreneurship together. It keeps you centered and focused. It keeps you coachable. And I want you to think about, now some of you are I'm going to test your humility. If you fail, does it bother you? Yeah, it's going to bother you, right? But when you fail, does it make you want to quit every single time? See, humility, someone who's humble and has humility, failure won't bother them, right? The only reason that we stop when we fail is because we really care what people think about us, how they visualize us, our ego sets in. All it did, it bruises our ego. Okay, and ego and humility they don't live in the same space. So you're going to fail, right? We're going to lose rank. Listen, look, can I be honest on this call? Right? In network marketing, you're going to lose rank sometimes. Do you stay at that rank and start acting that rank? Or do you act the rank that you hit and you have the resilience to come back and hit it again and go right and shoot right past it, right? It's the setup for the comeback. Listen to me. That's humility. I'm being honest here. This is network marketing. Network marketing is not for weak folks, but it pays so great, and there is no ceilings. If you got the work ethic and you have all the characteristics I'm talking about right now, you'll be a top earner in this company, and you're going to be a top earner inside this industry. You see, what I realized about I Am Master Academy, and I'm going to tell you guys, I'm in love. I Am Master Academy, it's a hate-love relationship. Let's be honest. But let's be honest on the same point. It's the best compensation plan in the entire industry right now. And we always say that we want to be at the beginning of something. Okay? Everyone says, there's 35 people on this call right now. Some of you will be chairman, some of you won't. Some of you will hit chairman 50, chairman 100, chairman 500, maybe 5 years, 10 years from now. And you're going to laugh when someone says, chairman 500, because now I Am is going to be around for about 16 years, maybe 20 years. And someone is going to say this to you. Man, bro, you came in at the beginning. Man, I wish I was at the beginning of this thing. This is going to be when I Am is all perfect, right? There ain't no processing issues. That people are staying in the system. We have multiple products lined up for everybody, so it doesn't matter what they do, whether it's Forex or something else. Retention is great. Like I Am is just smooth selling. And someone's going to say, man, I wish I was at the beginning. So you were lucky. You're lucky. You're at the beginning. And I believe you are. But you got to recognize that you're lucky. But here's what they don't know. At the beginning, it's never easy. It's never what you expect. Entrepreneurs respect the fact that they take in the information, and sometimes there won't be a direct answer. Okay? Now I'm talking about wisdom. It's being able to pull a decision and an answer from somewhere, right, based off your wisdom. And where we're at in I Am Master Academy is we have everything that we need. Trust me, I know I've came from a company that looked great, okay? But now I'm in a company that I'm watching develop to become great, and with a way better compensation plan, with the power to change nations. Listen, with what we're receiving, and it's not about the money, folks. It's about what we can do with the money. I hope you've already written down, the countries you're going to help when you reach a certain level, the charities you're going to start, the schools you're going to open, the people's lives you're going to change, the mission trips you're going to go on, maybe the vacations you're going to take your team on. I hope that you've already written all these things down because they're already done. And all this call is about this morning is that you're already qualified to step to the front of the line. If you're not a chairman right now, it's already been spoken. You're a chairman. I just need you to believe it. I need you to step to the front of the line and apply the 5 characteristics that we just talked about. And you can apply those 5 characteristics. We're in February right now. I believe that all 35 of you on this call, if you're not a chairman, that you'll be chairman by the end of this year, period. Right? Apply the 5 things. What we say, number 1, and this one make y'all participate. Number 1, let me see it in the chat. What's number 1? This is the retention part. Implements for punks. That's right. Number 1, decisiveness. Okay. Number 2, you got to act with confidence all the time, regardless if you don't feel confident, folks. Right? You got to act. That's why I say act. I don't say you were confident. I say you got to act, and eventually the acting becomes life. Number 3, got to be accountable to yourself. Tell the truth. You own it all. No matter what happens to you in your business, at work, in your family, in your life, it's your responsibility. You own it, and it's to promote you. Number 4, always be resilient. Don't allow someone to spiral you to self-doubt every single time. See, self-doubt, if you look at it, it negates everything else that we just talked about. It negates you being confident. It negates you being a decision maker. So So have that resilience to always bounce back. And then lastly, be humble at all times, no matter how much money you're making, no matter who's around you. If you're humble, it'll keep your ego in check, and it'll keep you always learning. Is at the point that you have no humility, that you stop learning, and that is a sure way to destruction inside your business and probably your relationships. So here's what I'm gonna do. I know we got some chairman on the call. I don't know if I see we got Mr. Jazz Williams on the call. I know he's gonna be taking over a session pretty soon. We got a lot of other leaders on the call. Jazz, if you want to say anything, I'll unmute you to give a couple words on this call. But folks, here's what we're doing. Let me go ahead and give you me, Jazz, Dwayne. What we decided, just all lock arms, and every single day, with us, and not just us. We're developing leaders now. It's not for us to be in front of the Zoom. It's not for us to be in front of the room all the time. Now it's to give you the same growth that we got. When I was a platinum 600, platinum 1000, whatever, I had when I first started, I wasn't a rank. Okay, just like everybody else, I wasn't a rank. I didn't just come in as a rank, but I was doing Zooms. Okay. And so we want to develop you on here to do the same thing, right? The person who holds a clicker gets paid quicker. Okay. So I want to make sure that you're getting that value so that you can get paid, and that you can control your team, and that you have the true entrepreneur mindset. So let me unmute you. Where are you at, Jazz? There you go. All right. If you want to say anything, Jazz, I think I unmuted you there. Are you good? And I don't think he's on. Okay. All right, folks, that is our call. So here's what we're doing. Oh, there you go. I can tell you driving. I got you. I think you're going in and out. Can you hear me? No, it's on mute again. Let me unmute you. Actually, I'm gonna make you a co-host. There you go. Now you can unmute yourself.
Yo, what's up, Randy?
Got you loud and clear. What's up? We got Chairman 10 about to hit Chairman 25, Jazz Williams in the building. What's going on this morning?
Nothing much, man. Hey, listen, you bodied the call. Super excited about this upcoming week. I really don't have much. I'm just excited, guys. Welcome to all of our new traders. Excited to work with you guys. Excited to trade with you guys. Like Randy said, this week is truly for you. We've been working behind the scenes and talking and strategizing on how we can do some things to help you guys level up and get the same type of advancement and training and shorten those learning curves the way we had, growing up and coming up in this industry. But Randy, I just appreciate you for bringing us up, man, my wife and I, and having us on the call with you and being able to tag team with you and work with someone who's just at your caliber, man. You've always been at the highest caliber in everything you've done, from real estate to the military to multi-level marketing. And just to be able to work alongside with you and your organization is just a true pleasure, man. So we're just super excited. So Randy, we appreciate you and everything that you and your wife does, not just for your organization, but for the entire company. So thank you.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. And I'm excited to work alongside you guys as well. So as you know, we are working some things out after London. Okay, we're going to have a huge launch event. So we're kind of looking at the logistics of that, going into different markets. We're going to be calling it Straight Out of London. Yes, the playoff of Straight Out of Compton. So Straight Out of London is what we're going to be shooting for, coming out of London here. And then every single day, start from this moment. Here's the system, folks. Our new presentation times. It will be every single day. Now, guaranteed, there will always be a nightly presentation at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at chairman1000.com. No matter what, if you don't see a flyer, there is a presentation going on Monday through Friday. And then we're also doing Saturday, the same time, 8 p.m. And then I believe we're going to be doing Sunday as well, too. All the leaders will be involved, so it won't just be chairman. It's going to be platinum leaders that are going to be on these calls as well, too. We're going to try to have a combined force, create a powerful culture as we elevate inside of our organization, folks. Also, I want to give shout-outs. I know there were a lot of ranks that were popped. The most recent ranks, shout-out to Tezra out of Ohio, hitting platinum 600. I believe shout-out to – I should have had – I want to say the Millers out of Ohio, they hit Platinum 600 as well too. Not Audra and Stephen Miller, but if not, I'm gonna make sure I put their name out there. Also, Aaliyah out of Canada, she just popped Platinum 1000. They're out in London right now. That's under Nafisa's organization. Also, Antoine, he's probably one of their top traders over there. He hit Platinum 600 as well, too. So congratulations to all the ranks. If I missed you, don't worry. We're going to start having this in order, and we're going to be giving shout-outs for all the ranks that are ranking up inside of our organization, folks. And there are a lot of people, they're killing it right now. And so if you want to hit Platinum 600, let's go do it. It's 12 customers in your organization. What I want to challenge you to do is you get to Platinum 150, okay, as a leader. And then what you do from there is you just teach people what you did to get the Platinum 150. Most time we're already giving you the blueprint. What is the blueprint? Hey, it's doing presentations. It's getting customers on there. It's plugging them into the system. It's getting them on Legacy Worldwide app. And then you do it over and over and over again. And at some point, you become a market leader, okay? And when I say market leader, it's someone who basically started a market from scratch. Right? It was just them at first, and then they recruited and sponsored some folks, and then they created a huge organization, became a platinum leader right inside of their market, made platinum 1,000, 2,000, and 5,000 little market leaders who have started it from zero. So my challenge for you is to become a market leader inside your market. If you want, myself or any other chairman in your market, hit the rank of Platinum 600. That's a start, and let's work, arm in arm together to elevate you to go chairman. That's what I have for everybody that's on here. I know that you're already qualified to do it. And don't let your confidence in trading stop you from creating a multiple $million business. This is just like a McDonald's franchise. You realize that McDonald's franchise operator in profit every single year makes about $200,000. And you see in our compensation plan, the top in our compensation plan is $500,000 a month. We make twice as much in 1 month than a McDonald's owner makes in 1 year. Do you think that's powerful? Absolutely. And so that's our time, folks. So we'll be doing presentation twice a day. Today, I don't think we're going to have a 12 o'clock. Kenya, I know they have theirs at 9 p.m. I don't want to disrupt that, which is 12 o'clock our time. So I will get their link and possibly promote it out to everyone. But then after this Monday, every day, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will have a presentation put on either by a platinum leader or a chairman leader. And then at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll also have a platinum or a chairman leader delivering the nightly message. And here's my challenge for you. Chairman, platinum leaders, if we can all combine forces and get on these calls together and do some testimonies and just kind of rile up behind each other, trust me, we will create massive momentum, not only for just the business of others, but your business. Trust me, whether you have anybody on or not, get on so you can constantly hear the presentation so that you can get good. Understand, just like when I was that co-pilot, learning from an aircraft commander to become an aircraft commander, you're that co-pilot inside of MLM, and your goal is to become a chairman. So you always want to put yourself in a circle to listen and to hear what chairman or platinum leaders are saying. So when your time comes, the confidence is already built. You already know what to do. You've heard it thousands of times, and it's already done. So that's our call, folks. Good morning. Let's get our day started. And in everything that you do, let's continually leave a legacy.